Now, speaking about fake news, I mean, obviously, this is what the left is also accusing of. But the journalists, the two young girls who were there in Tripura, were reporting on the violence, were absconding because the police wanted to take a report from them and get their statement. Now, obviously, one can give them the benefit of the doubt, saying that they're young girls. They're probably intimidated by the state machinery, so to speak. So that is the reason they fled from there. But they have actually not presented any concrete evidence. They said that, check out the burned documents and you'll find the Quran there. But
in fact, one of the
report
I read was that they were recruits. They were interns. They were not even journalists.
Right.
So young girls, whether one girl was even an adult, I am not very sure, because that is the kind of report I read. Whatever, even if they were journalists, when they said there is so much happening, they were able to convey that. Why they could not convey the photographs or videos or anything?
Yeah.
Everybody is speaking. None of them has produced one shred of photograph or news. In fact, Republic TV had shown the reporters going there where the mosque was intact.
Right.
So naturally, a small state which has seen worse kind of violence, worse kind of insurgency, and worse kind of abuse of human rights when people coming from Bangladesh and early Pakistan landed up in Tripura, it will be very cautious.
Right.
Why it should not be cautious?
Yes, and in fact, the hotel that these people were staying in, they wrote that they were here on work purpose, but they mentioned that they were students. So there is something, there's not a lot of clarity on whether they were actually journalists or not. Probably that particular media organization has to come out and give some clarity on this. But what
it is similar,
is also...
Sharon, is similar to the so-called journalist of PFI who went to all the way to UP to report, right? So this is a very strong network. These are very strong, network people who can create any kind of false or real news change into something very, very horrific. And they can make one small incident look like, as if earth has fallen, and they can normalize huge violence into something very normal.
I'm glad you said that, because the narrative that is coming out today, or at least what the left ecosystem is accusing the BJP RSS combine of, is that what does such a big machinery that consists of such a majority that enjoys such a big support from the people of India have to be afraid of young girls who are 18, 19 and 20. It happened with Disha Ravi in Bengaluru. It happened with many other cases. You take Jadavpur University, JNU. Now it's happening in the case of Tripura as well. So to put it in their words, is the BJP or the RSS very sexist and ageist?
I would put the blame. I was about to say this, that if you believe in gender equality, believe that everybody has the right to report, work, and whatever, and then if a woman journalist is arrested, or a woman journalist writes something which is not really a true news, then why do they complain? If men and women are equal, when something goes wrong, suddenly you show you're a woman. Before that, you say we are all equal. The kind of equality we see in the JNU hostels, we know what havoc they do with the people and what kind of language they use. And this equality, when it comes on the profession, we suddenly you remember that somebody is a woman. And whether it's a man or a woman, wrongdoing is wrongdoing. Are you saying that a woman journalist or a student can spread rumors without any evidence, but she should not be touched, or that small, young student should not be touched, but somebody else should be? So that nobody's afraid of a small young woman or whatever. We are afraid of the fake news. We are afraid of the havoc it will create, which created in Maharashtra. Yes. Let us admit it. During all the debates, none of the supporters of this violence ever spoke of what is happening in Maharashtra. They kept on asserting about Tripura. They said, if this is wrong, please tell us what is right. If you don't know what is right, then at least don't keep on hammering what is wrong. Right. So you have no evidence. You will throw some allegation. Then you will say, if this allegation is untrue, please prove it is true. It is like saying that when did you stop beating your wife? There is no answer. You can either say yes or no. So you will create a news, fake news. You will assert it is right. But when shown that it is not right, you will say, then you show what is right. So what is your responsibility? What have you done to see that there is nothing wrong in what is happening there? And why do you fan such violence? You will hide any violence in Bengali. Remember Malda. There was huge violence in Malda some years back, and the police station was torched by Malda smuggling Muslims who have a huge smuggling business there. And Mamta did not allow anybody to enter Bengal or enter Malda. In 4 days, they got the police station repainted again, and then they said, "Come, there is nothing wrong." Is this the way to report? Is this way to maintain law and order? What is better?
Right.
So you can always try moralizing when you're caught on the wrong foot and blame others.
Right.
We are afraid of violence that you will create. We are not afraid, or anybody is not afraid, because when RSS had no ground there, when RSS had no cadre, that they worked in Tripura Northeast without fearing communist violence, without fearing the terrorist violence supported by the church. Do you remember that 4 RSS workers were kidnapped and killed?
Yeah.
Never returned. Their bodies were not returned. Somebody was returned, chopped in a bad shape, not to be shown to even to the family. And none of them spoke. None of them. So life of a Hindu activist, whether he's in Northeast or Tripura or entire Northeast or in Kerala, has no value. He will not even give a cursory sympathetic note for that kind of violence.
Yeah.
But you will say, "Oh, but we are afraid of a young girl." Young girl is speaking one truth. Whether she is a student or whether she is a journalist, we don't know. And where is the agency for it which they were working? Why they're not clarifying what is happening? So this kind of accusation throwing is fine. I mean, for 30 years, Marxist people ruled Tripura with an iron hand, and nobody was even able to open mouth. You call Sunil Dev there and ask him what is the condition. Right. He had to go there and hold meetings in the night in some hidden out places to meet people because people are so afraid. And why did Congress supporters land in BJP in Tripura? They were so afraid. They knew that Congress will never do any opposition because in Tripura they have a problem, but in Delhi Congress needs left. That was UPA times. So frustrated at that, knowing that they can't do anything, they joined BJP in a very, very secretive manner, not showing face anywhere. In that fear, even Marxists who were tired, they joined BJP. But these people are so afraid they could not hold any meeting. They could not meet openly. That is Sunil, they're asking you, bring him on the show, he'll tell you.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.